What's up, what's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm tryna give me a bag. 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 I'm tryna give me a bag.
What's up, my fly folks? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. My name's Hassan Thomas, a.k.a. CEO Sonny, a.k.a. CEO Diddy. And I'm here with Maryville Senior Class President and American Marketing Association President, Remy G. What's up, bro? How you feeling? How your senior year treating you?
What's up? I'm feeling good. Man, this isn't what I pictured my senior year looking like, but I can't complain. We living, not surviving. Let's get it.
Big facts, General. Well, here at FY Fly, y'all know we like to start off the show with a meaningful quote about money. And y'all know this is a show about financial literacy. And financial literacy at its simplest, understanding not only how to budget your money, but being able to save and grow your money effectively and efficiently. Today's quote comes from Tyler Gregory. If you don't take good care of your credit, then your credit won't take good care of you. In the first season, we gave you guys a lot of information. And one of our fans actually gave us some feedback and said we need to focus in on one or two topics during our conversations so y'all can really lock in on them and put them plays in motion.
Yeah, he said instead of giving a fire hose of information, we got to water y'all like some plants so y'all can grow, baby.
Yeah, bro, just like a little watering hose, huh? So this season, we'll be diving more in depth on certain topics. In season 1, we gave y'all the credit basis with my guy, Credit Sheldon. So today, we're going to be focusing in on specific ways you can raise your credit.
And we don't like to waste no time, huh, CEO?
You already know we on go, General. It's bag season, so let's get active. So by now, we should all know how important credit is. Having bad credit can hurt you in so many ways. Not only will it hurt you, but it will cost you too.
When you have bad credit, every important thing in your life automatically becomes expensive. You know, bro, I've learned that your credit score is basically like your trustworthy score. Banks and other lenders need to have some type of way of knowing you're going to pay back that money they lent you.
You know, when you think about it like that, it kind of makes credit a little easier to understand. Let's say you lent money to Lil Johnny, and Lil Johnny didn't pay you back. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trusting Lil Johnny no more.
Yeah, Lil Johnny gonna have to see me for mine.
Nah, for real. But think about it. Just like you wouldn't trust someone for not paying you back, well, the bank not gonna trust you for not paying them back or paying them back late. So the bank can't come track you down and beat you up, but what they can do is send those late payments to the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, to lower your credit score, which will make it harder to do the major things in our life like buying a house, buying a car, getting good credit cards that allow us to travel for free. Shout out my girl Flynance. But yeah, having bad credit or a low credit score only makes life harder and more expensive. So that's why we're going to give y'all 5 tips on raising your credit score. You ready, General?
Well, let's lock in.
So the first tip to keeping your power up, because y'all know cash is king, but credit is power. So we got to keep our power up now. First thing we have to do is make sure we're paying our bills on time. Your payment history is 35% of your whole credit score. What helps me is setting up reminders in my phone to pay certain bills and also putting bills on auto pay. You know they're going to need to be paid anyways, so let technology do the remembering for you so you don't have to.
Also, one trick is, when you're paying these recurring bills, call and find out when your balance gets reported to those 3 credit bureaus Son told you about. When you call your creditor, make sure you find out your closing date. You'll need to beat this date because if you pay after, the creditor will report whatever balance is shown before that payment you made, increasing your credit utilization.
So your credit utilization is when the credit bureaus take the amount of credit you used and divide it by the amount of credit you had available. So for example, if you have a credit card with a maximum limit of $1,000 and you go out and buy a vending machine, which is an income generating asset.
Real big speaker, huh?
Yes, sir. You know I'm a preach to him, G. So say you go out and spend $300 on a vending machine. That means your credit utilization is now at 30%. And most experts say we need to stay as far as below 30% as possible.
Uh-oh, here comes some more math. The way you calculate that 30% is just to multiply that 0.30.
All right, gotta move the decimal over 2 spaces, huh?
I swear. So you do that little 0.30 by your credit limit. In this case, it's $1,000, which leaves you at $300.
So make sure you try to spend less than $300 on your card, and that's law. Speaking of credit utilization, this brings us to our next tip, which is to pay down your highest amount of debt. When you have a high amount of debt, especially one with a high interest rate, these type of debts are compounded monthly, eating away your credit score because it's raising your credit utilization.
Do y'all see how a lot of these factors build off of each other like it's a game? Well, it is, and there's levels to it. You just got to know how to play it, baby. So we got to make sure we're paying off our student loan debts and any other type of debts so we can lower the amount of money we owe, which lowers our overall credit utilization.
So the next tip we have is to pay any outstanding debts. So if you missed a payment or have been late a few days, it's okay. But what's not okay is going 30, 60, 90 days late on a payment. That ain't gonna cut it because those credit bureaus gonna cut your score, and we can't have that. The fourth tip we got is to dispute any inaccurate information off your credit report. That's why it's so important to always check your credit. So what I've come to understand is Credit Karma is a great app to use to stay up to date on your credit report.
Now, Credit Karma uses a different scoring method than banks, car dealerships, and mortgage lenders. So it's not so great if you're using that score to buy a car or house because the lenders don't go by those scores. Credit Karma uses VantageScore 3, and lenders use your FICO score.
Facts, G. But what Credit Karma does provide you with is what lines of credit and the type of debt that you actually owe.
It's important to know what's on your credit report because everything on that report affects your score. It either brings it up or down. And if the information is inaccurate, most of the time it'll bring it down. Inaccurate information could be anything from an inaccurate late payment or an inaccurate collection. So be sure to be aware of your reports because mistakes happen all the time.
And last but not least, we have to limit our new credit inquiries because these hard inquiries can have negative impacts on our credit scores and can last for up to 2 years. When you go to the dealership, they're going to run your credit to like 15 different banks to see which bank can give you the best offer so you can walk out the door with a car. So when they pull these hard inquiries, each and every one are going to have an impact on your credit score. So be careful. So we're going to take a quick break and slide into our insightful interview with the Haitian CEO, Mr. Herman Dolce. But first, Remy G, you trying to recap our 5 tips to raising credit, bro?
Say less, I got you. So we got 1, pay on time. 2, pay down your debt to lower credit utilization. 3, pay outstanding or late payments. 4, dispute inaccurate info on your credit report. And 5, chill on those credit inquiries. So now, I think we're ready to jump into the interview, CEO.
Bet, let's get it, bro. Hold on now. You haven't heard about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast, whether you have 200 listeners or 2,000. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Let's go. What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. And today we are entering our insightful interview portion of our show. And we are speaking with the founder of Bella Sloan Enterprises, Mr. Herman Dolce. How you doing, boss?
I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you so much for blessing me and allowing me to speak to your audience and be on your platform. I'm truly humbled by it. Thank you so much.
Man, thank you for coming. I know you're going to drop a lot of gems, man. We're excited to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell us a little more about you, your background, and how you got started with your businesses.
So Herman Dolce, Bella Sloan Enterprises, I actually named it after my firstborn daughter. I have 2 beautiful girls, Bella Sloan and Olivia Monroe. First generation, families from Haiti. My parents, I'm born in Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Philly. My parents moved to Philly because Philly's a lot cheaper than New York, as everybody knows. And then the rest is history. So Brooklyn birthed me, Philly raised me. Went to Temple University, Bishop McDevitt High School, got my master's degree from Lincoln University. So I went down the path of getting the education, getting the master's degree because I thought that was it to life. Because, you know what I mean, your parents, they can only give you what they learned, right? So my parents, they come from a third world country, and they were taught like, yo, go to America, get an education, you're going to be good. But, you know, that's not exactly how it necessarily works. And, you know, fast forward 20 years, I'm on my baby moon with my wife. And this is before Bella was being born, and we were in Italy for like 2 weeks, bro. And great trip. But this is the moment that changed my life. This is how Bella Sloan Enterprises started. We was on a train ride in between cities. We were going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? And my wife's sitting there. She's asleep. Big baby bump. I'm like, damn, I'm about to be a dad. Life is crazy right now. And I'm in Italy, so it's a blessed feeling. And then I was like, I want to be able to have this moment whenever I feel like it. I had to ask somebody permission to come here. And then once they gave me permission, they told me how long I could stay. So it was a 2-week vacation. You just can't go to Italy for like 5 minutes or a quick weekend. So that's all my vacation time. So when my daughter was born, I couldn't take a time off of work or whatever. So I got home. I was telling my baby brother about it, Kevin. And he was like, bro, the only way you can be free is if you own your own. As long as you work for somebody, that's what it's going to be. So at that moment, that's when it clicked with me. Like, all right, I got to start my own. But I was like, well, I don't know what to build. Everybody doing real estate. Like, I didn't want to go down that road. I started it for a little bit, but I would have to go harder. He's like, listen, you fixing people credit now, because I knew the credit game. Write the letters, call in dispute. And then he's like, stop doing it for free. And I was like, nah, man, people need to know this. So I was helping out my friends. They was like, nah. I was like, nah, I can't charge people for that. He's like, listen. Then he said this line to me. He was like, they gonna pay somebody. They might as well pay you.
Big facts.
So I was
Big
like,
facts.
damn. And that's how Bellastone Enterprises started. Got the logo, got the website, and then it's been go from there. And then, as I said to you earlier, like, I was consistent. It was every morning, every day, posting results. I did like my first 10 friends for free, posted their results. I'm like, yo, I fixed credit real cheap, $250 just to get people in the door. And then those people came in, fixed their credit, posted more results, and then the price was raising up. The audience got bigger. And then one thing I realized though, bro, it's not just fixing people's credit, it was giving people education about the game. Like, yo, listen, if your credit is fixed, this and this can happen. And then I learned about business credit. And I was like, well, you can do this, this, and this. And then the platform just grew where, people come to me, for advice on credit repair, business credit, investing in certain things. Like I invest in real estate and I invest in trucking. And then, I show them the end, but I got to tell them the beginning. I was like, it all starts with what? Credit. You want to be financially free? Credit. You want to be rich? Credit. It's the only way I know how to do it. There's many ways to reach a pot of gold, but I can only tell you the way how I got there.
Yeah, we definitely going to jump into that credit real soon.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but first I got to know, bro, what was the biggest lesson that you've learned from your personal entrepreneurial journey?
The biggest lesson that I learned, that's a really good question. Like, to not be hard on myself and to be patient with the process. So I always preach to everybody, definitely be consistent, right? So entrepreneurship, and I did a video about this yesterday, entrepreneurship on social media, it looks glamorous, right? Like I'm about to, like, it's my birthday month, so I'm about to go ham. I'm about to get foreigns. I'm about to go to Miami. I'm about to go to Colombia and just draw on Instagram and just celebrate life and let everybody share with me, right? But what I was telling people also yesterday in a moment of transparency is that social media and all that glitters isn't gold. It's hard work. Like right now, we doing this popping podcast, right, bro? You gonna post it. I'm gonna post it. Everybody's gonna listen to you. Your voice is gonna go everywhere. But you know what they don't see, bro? They don't see how often you text me, how often you email me, how often you DM me. They're not seeing how you gotta edit this behind the scenes. They're not seeing all that work, how you have to reach out to so many people, how many no's you got before somebody said yes to you, right? Nobody sees that stuff. So my biggest lesson is being consistent again and not being discouraged when it's low. Because believe it or not, there's more lows than there is highs. But when the highs are highs, they're good, right? So like, it's been like right now, we in week 5 of this year, right? My head been down and I just been grinding because I know the last week of February, I'm gonna leave the country and I'm gonna go have a good time, right? And that's only 1 week I'm gonna be gone. But for 7 weeks, it was low. I'm in my man cave, I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm saving, I'm waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm working out. Like it's a lot of work. So that for that 1 week of pleasure, and I'm not answering no phone, I'm not responding to no DMs. And I'm posting on Instagram, like, wow, he lived such a wonderful life. I'm like, bro, this is 1 week in February. The first 7 weeks, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? So just reminding myself that, what I'm saying, be consistent and remember that the hard part is part of the journey.
Bro, like you said, Instagram and all the social media is just the highlights. I love how you said that.
Highlights. It's just the highlights, man. Nobody posts the lows. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. So, man, let's jump right on into this credit, man.
Right.
Why is it so important for folks to have good credit?
I personally think there's many divides in this country, especially when it comes to racial divides, financial divides, sexual divides. There's many divides, right? And you can only go so far in a lot of different arenas. I totally get it. But with credit though, when your credit is in position and is good, there's just some no's you're not going to get. They're going to say yes. So, for example, when people come to me, like, I remember my credit was cheap before. It used to be $250. Now it's $1,000 and up, right? But man, it's a lot of money. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me break it down for you. I look at your credit report because I can look at people's credit report. And I'm like, all right, bro, you got a 2016 Honda Accord, right? That thing is 6 years old. You bought it used. You put 5,000 down, and you're paying 700 a month for it because your credit is trash, right? But if you had given me $1,000 before you went and got the car, right? You would have put zero down. You would have kept the 5,000 deposit in your pocket, and your car note wouldn't have been 700. It would have been 300. So you do the math. So when people say credit is expensive, I'm like, it's not expensive. Having bad credit is expensive. Repairing your credit is an investment. You're going to get that money back. And that's just one thing. So you refinance your car after I fix the credit, now your credit score is 100 points better. You go back to a bank, and then I'm going to give you game. Because remember, it's not just me fixing your credit. I got to give you game. No, don't go to a big bank. Go to like a credit union. They're going to give you better rates than a Bank of America. Go to a credit union, refinance the car. You're going to get a cheaper rate. Your car note's going to go down by $200. And remember, that $200 times 5 years of the car note. In 5 months, you would have got your money back from the credit that you paid me. But that's just one thing. You're going to save money on your car insurance because your credit is better. You're going to get apartments because your credit is better. You're going to buy a house one day. You're going to put less money down on the house. They're going to approve you for more money. And the money's going to be cheaper because you have good credit. So I tell people, you got to think of the long term. Don't just think about now. And then, then I go into my business credit spiel where I'm like, now you can get business credit and you can invest in your business all because you got good credit. It just helps so many areas of your life that I tell people it's super important to get on top of it. People, you can get denied for a job because you got bad credit. So
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So like certain financial institutions, how you have bad credit, but you work at a bank? Or government jobs. There's certain government jobs you can't get because if you have bad credit, they're like you're easily influenced to be bribed. So what a couple of my guys were telling me about that about background checks. So that's how important that is. So if you have good credit, you can really be put in positions for many other things in your life where people can't say no to you.
So what's your thoughts on the negative connotations surrounding credit cards, for us growing up, especially in the minority communities?
Lack of education, man. And I think it's on purpose that our people weren't given this information because the other side, right, they got this information. Their kids got it when they were young. Donald Trump knew about credit when he was 13 years old, right?
Yeah.
His father was giving him game then on how to finance, how to finesse, how to flip, all that stuff, right? How do you think they did it? They did it on credit. My dad actually used to work for Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump, so he knew him. So Fred Trump didn't wake up one morning with billions of dollars that he passed down to his son to make it easier for him. No, like he grinded, he invested, he got credit, he borrowed money from whether it's people or a bank, and he learned how to flip it. So that's why so that information isn't given to us. We're tricked about it. We're not credit is bad. I have grown people where they're trying to get business credit. If you don't have good personal credit, you can't get business credit. So I'm getting credit cards that are $20,000, $30,000 in business. But these people got like secure credit cards, like a $500 credit card. Oh no, I never got credit cards in my life, man. I always use cash. I was like, yeah, then you got brainwashed. How is a bank going to give you $20,000 in credit to go buy a truck or invest in real estate if you've only had a $500 card? You haven't demonstrated that you're responsible with money. So that's why it's super important to instill, these things in our youth very, very quickly. We are trained, bro, on how to get jobs, right? We're trained on it. You know what I'm saying? We're not trained on how to make money. And that's why I tell people this is the difference between me and other people. Everybody's a guru out there. I teach people how to make money. You know what I'm saying? I teach you how to be financially free, not how to get a second job, none of that stuff. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with getting a job. Your passion and your happiness is your passion and your happiness. But when we're talking about money talk and putting you in a position where you have some money working for you someplace else, that which really gives you financial freedom, I think that's super important. But they're not giving that game to everybody, so I'm gonna be the one person that's gonna give it. And we're brainwashed so much about it, bro. There's some people on Instagram, oh, he's scamming, because our own people can't believe that this is real. Because like we just said, everybody only posts the highlights, right? So I gotta post receipts all the time. I'm like, yo, man, this person credit got fixed. Yo, they use this money to flip it. They bought a truck. Yo, they making $5,000 a month with this truck. So I gotta post the receipts because our own people are brainwashed to think that their own people are gonna scam them. So we gotta show receipts and show them that it's real. That's why credit is so important to teach our people.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. So I actually got this question from one of my audience members. They wanted me to ask. So can you tell my audience why when we check our score on Credit Karma and then go to, the car dealership, our credit scores are completely different? Why is
Completely
that?
different. So the 99% of the lenders, banks, credit card companies, mortgage companies in the United States use something called the FICO system, the FICO score, right? That's the main one. So if you go to Experian.com or myfico.com, they'll give you your true FICO score, right? Credit Karma uses another math. It's called Vantage 3.0. They use a totally different math system. So they don't weigh certain things as heavy as your FICO score would. So that's why the score is so different. Not to say that Credit Karma is wrong. It's not wrong. They're just using a different math. It's like the UK and Europe, they use the metric system, right? So it's kilometers. In the United States, they use miles, but it's still the same distance or whatever. So they just using a different math system. But the information, like whether you've been late on something or if you got a collection or whatever, it's the same information there. The math is just different.
Makes sense. So once my audience listens to this podcast and get their credit right, explain to the fly folks listening what a good credit card could do for them.
Man, so many things, bro. So I actually teach a mentorship program, right? So we was on class yesterday and I was just telling them, I was like, listen, man, you got a $10,000 credit card. I'll show them how to manufacture spend. What that is like, when you get a new credit card, they're like, hey, if you spend $4,000 in 90 days, you'll get $350 cash, or we'll give you 100,000 points. Or when you're on an airplane and they giving out those credit card things, if you spend $5,000, you'll get round trip ticket to Hawaii and back. So people are like, well, how on earth? First of all, how am I going to get that good credit card? That's number one. Number two, how can I get those points or those rewards? And I show them how to make your credit card companies look like you spent the money, right? And then put the money back on the card, right? And then you get the cash. Now you just made $350 because you got good credit. You got the 100,000 points from Amex, right? That you can use at hotels, you can use for airline tickets, or you can get the round trip ticket to Hawaii just because you got good credit. So that's why it's so important and clutch to me to speak to those things to our people, because it's just, man, having good credit is just amazing. You're able to leverage it to get stuff. Like, you don't have $50,000 right now, right? But if you had good credit, you can go get $50,000. And then it's important to teach people credit is supposed to be used to make money, not to buy stuff. So the money you make from credit is what you use to buy stuff. So I don't know if you saw, but you saw I got a car, right? I finally got a brand new car in December, right? I actually got 3 semi trucks, right? And they rolling for me. So I use credit to get those trucks. And one of those trucks, one paycheck from one of those trucks pays for my car note. So basically it pays for my car note, the gas, and the car insurance 1 week. So
leveraging your credit.
So I'm leveraging the credit to make me money. So my car I'm driving for free. That's why having good credit is so important.
So in what ways can we leverage our credit?
So more ways you can leverage your credit. So a lot of my friends, they do real estate, right? So I teach in my mentorship class, say for instance, if somebody got a $20,000 credit card, 0% interest. When you first get the card, it's 0% interest for like 6 months, 7 months, a year. I was like, yo, let me show you how to take the cash off the credit card into your bank account. Now you got $20,000 in your checking account. You can use that money to go flip somewhere, right? And that 0% interest will cost you about less than $200 a month just to borrow $20,000. So somebody could put a down payment on a truck. That truck making them $5,000 a month. That $20,000 could be the down payment on a real estate property, right? Sometimes you might not even need to flip the property. You just bought it for so cheap at $20,000. You could sell it for $30 real quick and have somebody else fix the property. You just made $10,000 on money that wasn't even yours. All you did was pay back the 20. Now you up $20,000 because you had somebody else's 20 bands, right? So it's all about leveraging the credit in different places. My other friend, he uses his Amex Gold card to do advertising for his online business, right? So he spends like $10,000 a month in advertising, right? He don't have $10,000, but he has it on his credit card. He advertises his business, right? People buy his product because they see it on Instagram, they see it on social media. Boom. Now he made $20,000 this month. So, and when you use your American Express Gold card to do advertising, they 5x your points on the card. So now, whenever he's running his ads, right, he gets all these points. He used those points to travel for free.
Man, he
leveraging credit. He making the plays. leveraging the credit in every ways. So they're not teaching this in high school. Parents aren't teaching this to their kids. Of course not, because everybody don't know the finesse, don't know the plays. Because that's why I told you a lot of times social media is capped. Social media is not fake necessarily, but it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like I tell people, I was like, listen, I'm in Miami right now for free. I didn't pay for this plane ticket. Well, I do well, but I'm not rich. I didn't pay for this plane ticket. I didn't pay for this Airbnb. I manufactured spend, got the cash back off the credit cards. So now this $1,000 Airbnb, oh, I had that in points. Oh, I had that on the cash back. I didn't spend. This is not my money I'm spending. So when people see my truck in my SUV on the street, that's a nice car. I ain't paying for it because my credit is paying for it. I'm leveraging it.
Most def. So what would you say are some of the most harmful actions that people can do to lower their credit?
Man, the two most important things, right? 35% of your credit score is late payments. 30% is maxing out your credit cards. So that's 65% of your credit. So that's the two most important things. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. If you late, it's a wrap. So it's gonna kill your credit. Another thing people don't understand is when you're maxing out your credit cards more than 30%, it devastates your credit score. So let's go into deeper dive real quick. So when you have a credit card and you're late on it, your credit is a living organism. You know, like you cut your finger and it starts to bleed. It's bad at that moment, but over time it heals. So the older a late payment is, the higher your credit score is going to go. So the longer it is between late payments, your credit score is going to look sexy. It's going to look beautiful. So don't be late on your credit, because it's going to impact you being able to get a car note, a credit card, and leverage your credit to make these moves that everybody is making that you see on Instagram flashing. Number two, once you get the credit, you got to be responsible with it. You got $1,000 credit card, don't use more than 300 of it. If you go over 300, you're going to see your score drop nastily, right? It's
So
not going to look
why
pretty.
is that?
Because the banks like to see that you're responsible with money. So if you're maxing out a card and you never pay it down, that shows them you're not good with money, right? So if you're not being responsible with $1,000, if you can't pay off $1,000, there's no way I can give you 10,000. So those are the two most important things that significantly affect people's credit. And of course, if you don't pay a credit card at some point, they close it and it's a charge off on your credit report. Or if you don't pay that T-Mobile utility bill, you get a collection on your credit report. So those nasty things show up on your credit and make it even worse for you to rebuild and to move forward.
So what would you say is a good credit score to have, in your opinion?
700 and above is a good credit score. 680, you're solid, right? But everybody needs to be in that 700 club. That's where everybody needs to shoot to get, definitely. And it's not just having a good credit score, right? It's more than that. Your credit profile has to be solid. What do you mean by that? So say, for instance, you have a credit score to 700, right? But all you have on your credit report is a secure credit card, right? And a $500 limit credit card that's 1 year old. My credit is a 690, but I got a mortgage, a car note, 3 credit cards that are 4 years old, $5,000 limit. We go to the bank. Who do you think the bank going to give anything to? Me, because my profile is nice. There's a nice mix. I've been responsible with money for a while. So it's not just the credit score. You want to make sure you build up your personal credit profile also.
Okay, so you've mentioned a secure card a couple of times. Can you tell us what that is and when we should take advantage of that?
So secure card is for people who are just building their credit. Like I don't have a secure card right now because my credit is mature. But if you're just starting out, you're trying to build credit history, build up your credit profile, you can definitely go to my link in my bio on Instagram, Haitian CEO Haitian CEO. You'll see a link for a secure card. It's where you give the bank like $200. They'll give you a credit card with a $200 limit on it. So it's secure. You gave them 200, they give you 200. So you can use it like a real credit card and build up your credit history over time. Unsecured credit cards are like the credit cards everybody has, $10,000 limit, $20,000 limit. They just giving it to you because they trust you, not because you did anything. You just had good credit and they gave it to you. So that's the main difference. So everybody who's trying to build their credit, getting a secure card is a good way to start.
All right, so let's switch a little bit to the business credit side.
Right, right.
What is the difference between, the personal credit and the business credit?
The most important thing is two most important things. Business credit, the limits are much, much higher, right? I got a $30,000, $40,000, I got a $50,000 line of credit in business because the banks believe this. They think like this. Your business needs more money than you as a person because you need to leverage the money, you need to make moves with it, right? So that's why it's more important, right? Your personal credit, right, is a lot lower. So like I got like for Best Buy, they gave me a $30,000 credit card because I got to buy laptops, iPads, all that stuff. That's what they think I need. Personally, I got a $10,000 credit card because I'm not going to spend that much. They don't think like you buy a TV, pay it back, and then what? Like, you know what I'm saying? The business credit, the limits are a lot higher. The second and the most important thing is that business credit does not show up on your personal credit report. So you could have $100,000 in business credit debt. No one would know because it's not on your credit report because you're leveraging that money to make money. And that's why it's super, super important. So you remember we were talking about the 30% rule on the personal credit. You can max out the business credit. No one knows. No one cares. Yeah.
So you don't have to have good personal credit to get business credit, or how does that work?
Yes or no. So when you're first, just like when you first start out your personal credit, you have to build it up, earn trust. Business credit, you have to do the same thing. You have to personally guarantee it. So that means they're gonna look at your personal credit, see how you did with your money, and then decide how much business credit you're gonna get. Now, Apple, Google, Samsung, the CEOs ain't personally guaranteeing anything. They build up their business credit profile. So the revenue and the age of the business dictates how much money they can get. That type of business funding is called corporate credit. So you have personal credit, then the next level is business credit, and the top tier is corporate credit, where they don't care what your credit score is. They just see the revenue of the business and how old the business, your business credit score, etc., to decide how much funding you can get.
Okay. So let's touch back on those semi trucks and those cars you got. So why was it so important for you to get those in business credit instead of your personal credit?
So let's talk about why I got it first, and then I'll answer that question. So last year, of course, was COVID. I had a mentor taught me that. I was like, listen, man, these are the only things still moving right now. Everybody home, but these trucks got to move. Food got to come to the grocery store. Medicine got to come. Clothes got to come to the store. So trucks are the blood of the United States economy. So get a truck so you make money no matter what. Okay, cool. How much is a truck? 50,000 to get it all up and running. A nice used one, 50,000. Yeah, registration, insurance, that'll get you on the road. So not everybody got 50,000 sitting. Remember, we talked about getting good credit. And then when you got good credit, you can walk into a bank. Hey, I need 30,000. Go to another bank. Hey, I need 20,000. Go to another bank. I need 20,000. You can raise yourself some your own money, or you can come to our company and we help you raise the capital. Boom, you walk into a truck dealership and you give them the cash. Yeah, I'm not paying 40 for 50 for that. I'll give you 45 because you got cash. So boom, went and got a truck, and now my trucks are averaging 5,000 to 6,000 a month for me after everybody's paid. So that's just one revenue stream. And I do the credit repair, I do business credit. So it's all about putting you in position to what? Be financially free.
Big facts. So man, let's talk about assets and liabilities.
Assets. You see my shirt, assets only, right?
Yes, sir.
It's so hard not to have liabilities, but I try to minimize the liabilities that I have. So, and this is really interesting because people really don't understand what a liability is. So, in my class, I say this question, right? I'm like, how many people own a house? Everybody raise their hands. They're like, yeah, I own a house. And I was like, is that an asset or is it a liability? Everybody, yeah, my home is an asset. And I'm like, no, it's not. They like, yes, it is. I was like, well, who told you it's an asset? Yeah. It's like, well, the media, TV, like, no, it's an asset. They don't know why it's an asset. I'm like, well, what's the definition of an asset? An asset is anything that makes you money. So my trucks, they're an asset. My house doesn't make me any money. That's a liability, right? It costs me money every single month. I got to pay the mortgage. I got to pay the electricity, the gas. I got to pay the taxes on the property, right? And then guess what happens? If something break down, guess what? I got to pay for it. So literally it costs you money. It didn't make you any money. So people are thinking, I was like, oh, well, in 30, 40 years when you sell it, that's when it makes you money. That's terrible. If I'm not giving anybody 100, 200, $300,000 to hold for 40 years before I make a return on the money. That's a liability. So it's really important to stack up on the assets in your life and let the assets pay for your liability. So Herman, why everybody getting in real estate? Because they turned the liability into a what? Into an asset. Because that property, they Airbnb in it. They rented it out to students, or they just rented it regularly. So now that liability is turned into an asset, and that's why real estate can be an asset.
And also just like your trucking business, man, you turned that liability into an asset.
Into an asset, because trucks are really liabilities. If it's sitting, right, I got to pay insurance on it. if it's not making me money, I got to put gas in it, I got to pay the driver. Like, no, it needs to make me money in order to change it from a liability into an asset. Like you see everybody on Toro, they get a fancy car, they put it on Toro. Because that $100,000 Maserati, that's a liability. But when I put it on Toro and I'm renting it out $2,000 a weekend, now it's an asset. That thing making me money.
Big facts. Big facts.
Yeah.
So give us some positive money habits that you do personally, and if you have any negative, let us know so we could go ahead and cut them off.
So good money habits. Number one, all my credit cards are on auto pay because life happens and you're gonna forget. So I already tell the credit card companies, take the minimum payment out my checking account. Just bro, I can get hit by a car tomorrow, and then my credit gets trashed if I don't make it back in time. Like my man, he was in the hospital for 2 months. He still came back with a 700 credit because his cards was on auto pay. So number one, keep your cards on auto pay. Number two, put 15% of your money away. Right? Act like you don't see it, because one thing for certain, two for sure, the rain will come. Right? So I have a house, right? Again, it's a liability. The water heater that warms up the house, that thing costs $1,000. That's what it costs to replace it. One day, that thing will stop running, right? So I had to have put some money away to fix it so it doesn't affect my life, right? I got a couple of dollars put aside. Yeah, I got a brand new truck, so I ain't got to really put any money away from it now. But when I had my used car, there could be something at any moment because the car was 11. My car was 11 years old. My Honda CRV was 11 years old. So I know at any moment anything happened. So I had 2,000 saved up just in case. So you want to have a savings. That's a good money habit. Bad money habits is getting caught up on Instagram with they always got those advertising that get you. When you at the supermarket, there's a reason all those candies are in front of the store. Be careful not to nickel and dime your life, all right? Because it adds up. So the shoe that's on sale from $200 is only $50 now. You're like, oh, I saved $150 though. Yeah, you did, but you spent what? $50.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No one ever thinks about that. So all the sales that you ran to and you said you saved all this money, it's all cap. It's all an illusion, right? You still spent money and you didn't buy anything that makes you money. You know what I'm saying? So save up your coins for a rainy day. Save up your coins to buy you something that's going to make you money.
So say you just graduated college or high school. What are your next money moves in this current climate we're in right now?
So I want my high schoolers out there to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's very important. You know what I'm saying? I want them to read The Richest Man in Babylon. It talks about investments. So I want you guys to start to think like that, just a little bit different. Because remember, when you're young like that, you're allowed to fail a lot. You don't have to follow the path that has been set for you. You know what I mean? Check some other things that are in life. You know what I'm saying? You don't know where it'll take you. So I want you to think about this real quick. The last two presidents, right, were no one saw them coming. So for 200 years, there was never a black man that was president. And it happened. Anything is possible, right? Donald Trump got elected president. No matter what crazy thing he said, he got elected, right? Yeah. And then I know President Biden is president, but he had a black woman standing next to him, and they elected him anyway. So what I've learned in the past 3 elections is anything is possible, right? So I want you guys to fail forward. You know what I mean? If you're in high school, you're just getting into college, it's okay to mess up. Don't be discouraged. I know people can get hard on you right now, but figure it out because you could trip and be president of the United States. Who knows?
Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice, yeah, bro. So I got one more question for you, boss man. I'm going to read you 2 quotes, and you got to tell me which quote is more accurate in your opinion.
Okay.
All right. So my first quote is, more money, more problems. And my second quote is, money can't buy happiness. Which one is more important in your opinion?
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go with, which one is more real, you said?
Yeah, which one is more accurate?
Okay, which one is more accurate? Money cannot buy you happiness? I don't believe in that at all. We're going to talk about that in a second. So I think the one that's more accurate is more money, more problems, right? Kind of, sort of, because money fixes money problems. All right. It doesn't fix all problems, but it fixes money problems. So there's a lot of problems people have. It's money. I hate my job. I hate my boss. All these bills is piling up. That's a money problem. Because if I gave you money, you wouldn't be mad at your boss. You wouldn't have a boss. You know what I'm saying? You stress out, you gotta work. You know why you tired right now? You exhausted? Because you work 6 days this week, or you have to work a double. That's a money problem. If I gave you money, you wouldn't be sleepy anymore. If I gave you money, you wouldn't be stressed anymore. You go on vacation more if you have more money, right? So,
Exactly.
but the different levels of money, the different devils there are. When you're working your 9 to 5 and I give you $1,000 a week, that's a good living, right? I give you $1,000 a week, you're cool. Your bills will be paid every month. Your car note will be paid every month. Yeah, you're stressed. I have to really make you earn it, but there's a piece there, right? The person who's giving you that $1,000, they sleep a lot less than you do. Because, like me, I have 4 employees. I sleep a lot less because I got to pay these people. I got to make sure my business is grinding, not only for myself, but I know my employees got mortgages, they got kids, they got car notes. So there is more money, more problems. Like 2 years ago when I had a job, the things I worry about, I didn't worry about them or whatever because somebody was paying me and I knew a check was coming every month. So definitely more money, more problems. Now, this is in my opinion. Money doesn't buy happiness. I think that's a lie. Money does buy happiness. So
Mm.
again, my thesis is you're a lot you're I'm not talking about celebrities and all that stuff, right? Like a lot of problems that you have right now are money problems. And if you had more money, you'll be a lot happier. So nobody's listening on this podcast and telling me that if I didn't give you $1 million, you wouldn't be more happy, right? You would be more happy. So cut it out. I think that's a poor mindset to have when people are saying that. I think they give that, to be honest, I think that's a brainwash tactic to give to poor black, brown, disenfranchised people. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Money doesn't buy happiness. People who say that nonsense are rich. Only rich people say money don't buy happiness because they rich already and they still not
Exactly.
happy in certain areas. Be like, bro, I'd rather have your money and figure out the other stuff. So
Big
yeah, money
facts.
does buy happiness because I'm a lot happier with my car. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot happier that I can feed my kids. I'm a lot happier that I don't have a job and I'm not responsible to anybody. So get out of here with that. So that's my opinion though.
I agree with you 100%, bro, because that's
Yeah.
really the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, coming out with this app, coming out with this podcast, these, financial literacy resources, because growing up, I seen a lot of the problems were money problems.
Problems. Yeah. So let's solve these money problems. You know how you solve money problems? With money.
Exactly. Money and that education, that financial
Money and
education.
education. Yeah, financial education. Absolutely.
Most deaf, bro.
Absolutely,
Most
man.
deaf. So I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for joining us on FY Fly the podcast. Let the audience know where to reach you. Any final words? Go ahead, boss.
FYI Fly the podcast. Thank you so much. Dopest podcast out right now. I appreciate you, bro. Listen, they could the audience can find me if they need their credit done. They need to get into to get some business funding for their businesses. If your business is old or brand new, we can help you out. If you want to get into trucking, you want to get into real estate, I got some plugs I could connect you with who put me on and changed my life. They could find me on Instagram at Haitian underscore CEO on Instagram, on Twitter. You can find my business page, Bella underscore Sloan underscore Enterprises on Twitter and Instagram, or they can email me info at bellasloanenterprises.com. Or you can just call my office 609-832-3552. My team would love to help you out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, man, we really appreciate you for dropping by, dropping all these gems.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we're going to take it back to Remy G and me for one of our favorite segments called Did You Know? Let's go. Welcome back to FY Fly the podcast. And y'all know what time it is, or maybe y'all don't. But me and Mr. Make a Play finna let y'all know. Did you know? Negative items come off in 7 years while bankruptcies come off in 10 years.
Did you know a 680 and above is considered a good credit score?
Did you know? The highest your credit can be is an 850.
Did you know that 1 out of 5 people have an inaccuracy on their credit report?
Did you know? AnnualFreeCreditReport.com is offering a free credit report once a week because of COVID.
Did you know majority of lenders use FICO when making decisions?
So in conclusion, my fly folks, to wrap it all up for you guys, you know we can't leave y'all without some takeaway items. So make sure you know what your credit score is, because that's the first step. You can use myfico.com or Experian.com. You can also check with your bank or your credit card provider.
We can't raise something we don't know now. We got to make sure our credit is right so we can live the life we deserve. We're raising our credit to acquire assets that make us money using OPM to make us money forever.
Yes, sir. Other people's money, you know we're using that OPM. And then we use that money to pay for our liabilities. our vacations, our cars, things like that. So for a final recap, we can raise our credit scores by paying on time, paying down debt, paying on late payments, clearing up inaccurate info, and not doing too many hard inquiries. Well, that's it for us at FY Fly, which if y'all didn't know stands for Your Information, Financial Literacy and Investing. And we want y'all to stay safe,
Stay invested.
and stay fly.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly, the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guest. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.
But don't y'all go anywhere just yet. Stay tuned as each week here on FY Fly, we like to give an independent artist a place to shine and gain some exposure. This week we have Blue Sea Notes by Yari. Let's get it.
Hop in the Benz and go. Ain't got time to chase no hoe. Busy chasing dough. She a tendo. I play the hoe like Nintendo. I stay hot on my mojo. I got my dogs like Cool Joe. I was just a kinfo. I'm grinding for my kinfo. My run too fast. They like slow like post. Lung shot, smoking tote. Murder she wrote. Man's not hot. I keep the coke. The burners stay warm like it keeps the coat. So much blues, but I stay afloat.